Hey guys, what's going on? We are back with another week of Monday Night Friendlies from ATX VGC. I am Nibs Plays Games, and alongside me is Gemma, Sir Wilson, and Chase, aka Tiki.
How's it going, y'all?
Yeah, so Gemma, do you want to go over what tonight's schedule looks like?
Yeah, for sure. So tonight we have a really special night lined up. We have 3 first-time battlers. In our very first game, we are going to have Lena versus Avi in our junior-senior matchup. In game 2, we will be featuring Charisma versus White Tiger. Game 3 will be the caster battle between Tiki and myself. Then for game 4, we're going to have Nibs versus Bat, who it looks like Bat's hanging out in chat, just dropped some very cool looking Togekiss. Hey, Coach Samson, great. So, looks like we have our battlers ready to go ahead and start connecting. We're going to be seeing this game from Avi's perspective. Sorry, Avi. Her name is Avi. We have Avi versus Lena. So, super excited about this. We have 2 players, one who's a junior, one who's a senior. The future of VGC right here. Super excited. We got a whole lot of love in the chat right now for Lena. So let me go ahead and tell them that they're good to connect, and then we can go ahead and get going.
Alright, do you have any ideas of the teams they will be running today? Will we see a Greedent?
You know, I know that Lena's been practicing with Adam. I've caught a couple of Adam's streams where he's been using that Greedent, so it's possible we see Greedent. Some other Pokemon that I've seen used alongside there are the really strong combination of Pincurch and Raichu, going for that electric terrain, especially given, as we just saw in our in memorandum, 2 of the 3 main terrain setters are now gone, with both Indeedee and Rillaboom being gone. Yeah, this is... Pincurchin kind of now has a little bit of a niche.
Yeah, I mean, I just wish it was a little bit better. Maybe had a little bit of like a defensive backbone to it instead of whatever it is that it has currently. But it is really cool on like hyper offensive teams and things of that sort.
Yeah, for sure. So here we see our battlers have connected. We do have the Series 6 battle rules ready to go, so this is going to be great. Really excited to see this. Oh, this looks like a familiar team, doesn't it, Chase?
Yeah, this is a very strong Clefairy Volcarona team that I believe Amy was using last week on stream. Mm-hmm. And she also, I believe, used in the women's tour this weekend. So, I mean, and what do we see from the other side? Yeah,
so from Lena's side, her in-game name is Emma, so we have a combination of Noctowl, Alcremie, what is the ice cream cone's name? Why did I just blank on that? Yeah, Vanillux, Sylveon, Pelipper, and Snorlax.
You know, I really like this team. Double Weather, a Noctowl, double Fairy type, and Snorlax. You really can't go wrong with any of that.
Yeah, those are great Pokemon. There's some really cool, interesting synergies, especially with, I believe Sylveon gets Weather Ball, doesn't it?
Yeah, I believe there's a couple of Pokemon on here that get Weather Ball. The Pelipper does. I think the Noctowl might. I'm not 100% sure there. But the Noctowl actually gets pretty much the same coverage as Togekiss with normal instead of Fairy. So you can see like Hyper Beam, Hurricane, and like Heat Wave as 3 attacks and give it the... it does have Super Luck, correct?
No.
Or does it just have Tinted Lens?
I believe it's Tinted Lens as its main one. Yeah, I don't think that it's... The bird you're thinking of is Unfezant.
Unfezant?
Yeah.
I was gonna say it. Ooh, we see Alcremie and Noctowl versus Dracozolt Clefairy.
Yeah.
Not a great position for this Alcremie because it can't get the Decorate off if a Follow Me is going to be happening. But otherwise, maybe you just go for the Follow Me, go for the Decorate and hope it gets off. But I'm not sure here.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those kind of precarious positions where, depending on the item on that Alcremie, we see here, turn 1, we see a Protect come out from that Noctowl. Clefairy goes for the Follow Me. And then Alcremie goes for the Decorate, so that is going to go into the Clefairy. So now Clefairy has a +2 special attack. And we see the Bolt Beak from the Dracozolt going into that protecting Noctowl.
Yeah, a pretty neutral turn 1. I don't think that Clefairy is going to very much make use of its +2 in both of its attack stats. It pretty much neither player Dynamax, neither player wasted a turn with anything. It seems like we're pretty much at turn 1 still.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that one of the things is you don't have to be as afraid of clicking Decorate into a Follow Me when that Clefairy, 9 times out of 10, they're not even carrying an attacking move.
Yeah, as we can see, this one does not carry an attacking move. It's interesting to see that there's potentially a taunt on Luna's side of the field. At some point, that's revealed under this Clefairy, then the Decorate would become free. I do not believe either of these Pokemon consistently run taunt. And I'm not even sure there is one on the team, but if there is, that would put her in a really good position.
Yeah, no, I agree. So we see a defensive switch coming out there, switching out the Noctowl into the Snorlax to go ahead and probably try and take this max to life a little bit better than that Noctowl would have with a super effective attack.
And I think we saw in the move selection phase that the Dracozolt is actually going to be targeting down the Alcremie slot. Maybe a safe, potentially a very good decision, making sure no Decorates get off, so the Clefairy is free to help in hand instead of having to follow me. Just giving up more of an offensive output. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. So we do see the follow me into the Decorate, and we see a max weight being targeted there into the Alcremie slot. That's going to do a pretty good chunk of damage bringing it down to the red. It is still around, so that Clefairy has to continue to go for follow me. Do you think we've maybe seen a little bit of information about an item on this Alcremie based around the fact that it's continued to click with this Decorate button?
It potentially could be Choice Scarf. That would be a very common item on Alcremie, especially now that, originally it was used to charm and to get attacked off before things like Cinderace or things like that. Now it's pretty much a free charm on anything in the metagame. When you look at Dracozolt or any of the other physical attackers that are common, it's also really nice because you get a Javelin Gleam or a Moonblast off onto potentially Urshifu's before they can attack.
That is a big Max Mormon coming out there from that Dracozolt into the Snorlax, taking about 70% of the health. Procking that berry there, we're going to get a little bit of information. I'm going to guess Citrus Berry. No, it's a Guava Berry. Very cool. And he goes for the Iron Head into that Clefairy, but that Max Mormon really doing some work in terms of lowering the attack stat of the Snorlax.
Yeah, no, that was a very good, safe mid-round with the Alcremie on the field and knowing the Noctowl's in the back, the odds of Sylveon being the other back Pokemon are very high, and it's just a pretty safe decision all around. Who do you think's in a better position now? As we see that Abby is on the 3rd turn of Dynamax at this point, and Luna hasn't Dynamax, but has taken a lot of damage to her Pokemon so far.
Yeah, she has taken a lot of damage, but the fact that right now she's going to have the Dynamax advantage after this turn, I think is going to be really key. She's managed to stall out 3 turns of Dynamax without exchanging a single KO. She will have access to that Alcremie coming back in and being faster than all these Pokemon if she can first deal with this Clefairy and get it out of the way.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a very tough, position to be in at this point because you really can only get rid of the Clefairy at this point with the Noctowl, and Noctowl is going to be fearing a Volt Beak from this Dracozolt. So, especially as the Dracozolt will probably just KO the Snorlax this turn.
Yeah, for sure. The one thing that we don't know is what the 4th Pokemon that we brought that could potentially pose some more offensive pressure.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, if we can guess based on what has been brought, the Noctowl is probably the only thing with fire coverage. So as long as the Noctowl gets taken out, then it seems like a pretty safe win for the Ferrothorn potentially. Because I assume this Alcremie is not carrying Mystical Fire, and unless it's Sylveon with Mystical Fire in the back, I do not believe anything else would be carrying fire coverage on this team.
So we see an interesting switch there, defensively switching out that Noctowl yet again to avoid a Bolt Beak, bringing the Alcremie in, and a Protect from the Clefairy to go ahead and preserve it, just in case that Noctowl decided to stay in and try and pick it off.
Oh, it is the Sylveon.
We do see the Sylveon, really interesting right here.
Oh, go ahead. You go first.
Yeah, I was going to say, Hyper Voice here looks like it would do quite a bit of damage and had the ability to ignore that redirection.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I think Hyper Voice will only do about like 25%.
Yeah.
At this point, but yeah, this is a very
We see a Dazzling Gleam into the Bolt Beak coming out from the Dracozolt. Is enough to go ahead and pick off that Clefairy, despite it moving second and being nerfed in terms of its damage output. You see the Hyper Voice come out. Oh, that Clefairy lives on
survived.
one. Oh, that is tragic. Yeah, that Dracozolt is incredibly bulky, given the 2 Max Quake special defense buffs, as well as its ability, I'm not going to reveal the item, but I think I know the item is. And it's the same team that Amy's been running.
Yeah, with Friend Guard and, I guess we can say Assault Vest, as we would assume. And the special defense boost, you can see that the Dracozolt took like 30% from 2 super effective attacks on the last turn.
Yeah, very, very strong. So we're going to see the Dynamax here come out from Lena, doing a really good job of preserving that. It looks like it's in a Love Ball, which is really awesome.
Yeah, no, do you think it's the Sylveon?
It is the Sylveon, it looks like.
Yeah, this is a smart decision because a Noctowl could potentially pick off the Clefairy, and then you get a fully super effective, let's say, like, Max Strike or Max Starfall off Hyper Beam.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's a really good position, but this Bolt Beak might just KO the Sylveon from full. I wouldn't think so, but maybe.
Ooh, revealing the Heat Wave here in Game 1 with that Noctowl, going ahead and getting a little bit of chip, maybe fishing for a burn on that Dracozolt, but the Bolt Beak comes out, it does connect first, and that is a lot of power.
Gosh.
Coming from Helping Hand, and the fact that Dracozolt's signature move is doubled when it moves first.
So the question is, do you think that Dracozolt would have gotten KO'd by the Max Starfall?
Off of Hyper Beam, I think there was probably a chance, but the +2 Spadef Assault Vest, I think it probably would have done about 50%.
Yeah, the thing we do have to know is that there was no more Friend Guard.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's true.
It potentially could have KO'd, I'm not sure. But we see just an extreme speed and wow, that does a lot. Oh.
The Hyper Beam avoiding. So we do see this Noctowl is incredibly offensive. Some good information for Lena though for Game 2, seeing that her Noctowl is faster than this Dracozolt. While Bolt Beak is super effective coming from a very high base attack stat, it's not going to have the benefit of a double boost from Bolt Beak's special ability. So,
I think something that's really funny about Dracozolt's Bolt Beak is the animation to me looks like it is it's the Dracozolt just throwing the electric Z Crystal from Gen 7 at the opponent, which is very fitting since it's throwing like a 170 base power move at the opponent every single time it goes for it.
Yeah, the fossil Pokemon this generation, Dracozolt and Dracovish, kind of the 2 most commonly used here in VGC, both of those super powerful moves. So here, I think that these players both have a lot of options for you too. If you're Lena, you're probably pretty worried about that Dracozolt. Knowing, some information likely revealed with all of those buffs, just how little a Hyper Voice does, an unboosted Hyper Voice does into the Friend Guard plus Spadef Clefairy, the Friend Guard from the Clefairy as well as the Spadef boost from Max Quake. Sorry. So yeah, that's really good information for your Sylveon.
I think like the main thing is like find out a quick way to deal with Clefairy, and then everything else gets a lot easier.
Yeah, that is I think one of the defining pieces of Series 6 so far is having a way to deal with Clefairy.
Yeah, it's one of the most frustrating Pokemon to play against because it doesn't even need to follow me. You'd think like, oh, it's a follow me bot. But no, it can help in hand, it protects the Pokemon even when it's not follow me, and worst of all, it gets ally switch.
Yeah. The other really devastating move that I ran into during the women's tournament this last weekend was Icy Wind on that Clefairy. Alongside a PZ, just going for the absolute speed control.
Yeah, it's a good Pokemon. It gets so many different, I wouldn't say moves that are great for the game when you consider Ally Switch and Sing and things of that sort, but it is a good Pokemon, and it does have a unique ability that only Jigglypuff also has.
Yes.
But Jigglypuff does not get follow me.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see how it's carved a niche in the metagame.
Yeah, for sure. So right off the bat here, we see different leads coming from Avi, but Abby, sorry, I keep wanting to say Avi. It's Abby. But we see the same lead coming out from Lena, being in a much better position here without that Dracozolt on the field. The Clefairy still is there to go for Follow Me, but Lena here being in a position where she can just go ahead, turn 1 and Dynamax.
Yeah, and getting these speed boosts potentially on the max airstreams will help out later being able to decorate once the Clefairy is gone from, I would guess, maybe 2 max airstreams, a max strike and a max airstream, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so we see the max airstream come out here, and that's gonna do a whole lot of damage there. 75%, it gets the critical hit. Maybe it is super luck. I might be wrong on that.
I think its hidden ability is super luck, but you could only, it's one of the ones that wasn't, oh, never mind, it's Life Orb.
Oh, it's Life Orb, yeah.
It was just a critical hit. Maybe I still, for some reason, thought its hidden ability was super luck, and it had the keen eyes and
it's tinted lens is what Sir Wilson is saying.
Yeah, no, I know it gets tinted lens, but I thought tinted lens is one of the normal abilities, and I keen eyes is the other one, or some useless ability.
So here we see the Alpha Phoebe go ahead and switch out into the Pelipper. Really smart defensive switch, knowing that Volcarona went for Heat Wave last turn, and setting the rain will cut the power of fire moves by 50%.
Yeah, that was a very safe switch in, and now potentially getting rid of the Clefairy, you can later decorate your Pokemon pretty much freely.
Yeah, so we see Charisma also mentioning the unfed that I said earlier on. So I think it was just a nice critical hit for Lena. So we see the Life Orb chip come through. Heat Wave here doing almost no kinds of damage in the rain. And now we see
the monster is back.
Yeah, the monster from last round. So one of the dangerous things here is the fact that this Volcarona also has access to creature shit in the form of Rage Powder.
Yeah, I think we've seen that it doesn't have it on this specific set.
Oh yeah.
But it is always an option. And I think
to worry about.
In fact, I think it's a really good option in the metagame right now, because something like Rage Powder, Will-O-Wisp, Heat Wave, Struggle Bug is very strong, with Struggle Bug being able to kind of neutralize Porygon Z's damage before it can attack is really cool as it's a spread. It's pretty much Snarl, but bug type.
Yeah, I ran into that in a set that I lost a couple weeks ago, and I did not know what it did.
Yeah, it's very strong. Speaking of other Pokemon that are Snarl abusers that I was looking at the other day, did you know that Skuntank pretty much has Snarl and Rock Slide in the same move?
I didn't know that one. That's really interesting. So here we see the Dynamax come out from the Dracozolt. Volcarona actually helps her protect here. And Max Strike. This is going to be really painful. Oh, not as painful as I thought. Isolvest really putting in some work there for that Dracozolt.
Yeah, this Knockout is a very strong Pokemon, and still the Max Strike, also Hyper Beam did nothing.
Yeah. And we saw the Scald, I believe, go into the Volcarona.
I think it was a Hydro Pump.
A Hydro Pump?
Not the class, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I missed that. But here we see the Max Lightning go into that Pelipper, and it's going to be enough to KO. That's a 4-time super effective move. Which, yeah, it's pretty much always going to KO the Pelipper, but the Pelipper did its job by going ahead and setting the rain to protect from those heat waves. So here we see the Sylveon go ahead and switch in, and the end of Lena's Dynamax. I think Abby's in a pretty nice position with this Dracozolt. It is going to be significantly slower than the Noctowl. And do you think that it's slower than the Sylveon at -1?
Yeah, I would assume so. This Dracozolt is only like 101 speed stat or something of that sort. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be outspeeding the Sylveon, unless the Sylveon is min speed, I think. Min speed it can hit like 58, but I would assume that the Sylveon is probably modest nature and hitting around 80 something speed.
Yeah, so potentially a big, I'm trying to think, maybe a Hyper Beam into like Hyper Voice would do a lot of damage. Hyper Voice will obviously be a spread move, but even a double Hyper Beam could do quite a bit of damage.
Mm-hmm.
We see the Arcanine go ahead and switch in for that Volcarona. It's Intimidate not really doing the whole time to these. We see the Hurricane, going for Hurricane Confusion hits. That's really smart.
I believe Hurricane's actually the strongest possible move to go for in that case if Tinted Lens is the ability.
Yeah, so we see the Hyper Voice come out and bring that Dracozolt down into the red. Notably, I think that another one picks it off.
Yeah, it's much weaker without the special defense boost and the Friend Guard to help it out.
Yeah.
So potentially going for something, and a Decorate Hyper Voice would definitely pick it off.
Yeah, that will definitely pick off the Dracozolt. And based on how much it did to Arcanine, it's going to help quite well.
Yeah, I think from this game we see how not leading with the Dracozolt can kind of let Lena set up and get a good start off to kind of sweep late in the late game with Sylveon, whereas leading with the Dracozolt helped a lot, kind of shutting everything down before it could get started.
Yeah, for sure. So we are getting, I do love that we get to see the kind of multi-dimensional side of this team. We saw the Noctowl go through the attack, some really big attacks as well as some really effective speed control. And now we see the Sylveon come in the back and start picking up alongside that decoration. It looks like Abby just barely got those moves in, so thought it wasn't timeout, and Alfred actually just going for the Dazzling Beam. Just in case something was enough to go ahead and pick off the Sylveon first. So Flare Blitz there in the rain, still doing a lot of damage, but
that's very strong.
It took a lot of recoil though.
Do we know if that is enough recoil for the next Dazzling Gleam to pick it off? I kind of missed how much it did to the Arcanine.
It's gonna be close. I didn't see the exact number, but it did, I think, like 10%.
So it's probably in range.
I guess, in range of this Dazzling Gleam, which we know will go first. So, yeah, really good adjustment here from Lena here in this game too. Recognizing that getting the Dazzling Gleam chip was more important than getting a Decorated.
This would be a very safe position to potentially Quiver Dance, if you think so. I see that Abby went for the Heat Wave, just trying to pick off the Alcremie this turn. Very safe move as well. But the issue now is that you might be taking too much damage from the Sylveon plus whatever else is in the back. And yeah, that was very strong.
That was very strong. The rain has now stopped, so he can no longer do quite as and it is actually just a 1v1 here.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, the Alcremie, the Noctowl, what was the
Pelipper.
Pelipper, that's right.
Sometimes I forget Pelipper is a Pokemon.
So we see the Quiver Dance, Volcarona giving itself the Omni Boost. The Hyper Beam here not doing a whole lot of damage, and it's going to go ahead and bring this Volcarona down into its Citrus Berry range to get a little bit of recovery back.
Did that do exactly the same? Does Citrus do exactly the same amount as the Hyper Voice?
I think it did. I think it started off at 107.
Yeah, I think it did too.
So,
kind of funny.
Yeah, it definitely is. At this point, this could come down to some really close rolls depending on which moves these trainers select down the line. So you see the Heat Wave come out from the Volcarona. It is having a single target, no longer in the range with a lot of damage. You see the Hyper Voice come out, took it down to 71. It might be in range of a big I'm not quite sure.
Actually, don't think so. Doing like 35. Hyperbeam is only 2 times as strong. Oh, doesn't matter anyways.
Yeah, and we see the heat wave. Go ahead and connect. So really well played from our 2 trainers. That was a super awesome showcase of this brand new meta here in Series 6. Congratulations to both of them. There's a lot to be proud of in that.
Yeah, that was really fun to watch. I really like seeing like the Pelipper and the Noctowl both used very well, detracting away from, or kind of putting the other Pokemon into good positions. Sadly, it wasn't enough with the Drake as well, just kind of being able to just chunk a lot of the Pokemon, and then Volcarona winning in the end in that game too.
Yeah, for sure. Again, really great games by our 2 first-time battlers here on the stream. We hope to see more from them, and I think they both got really bright futures here at VGC.
Hey, you like that video? We think you should check this out, and YouTube thinks you should check this one out. Be sure to subscribe for more content.